5 Questions with LeRoy Butler is brought to you by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 5 Questions with LeRoy Butler.
Yeah.
Welcome to 1-0.
Yeah, I said that. You didn't believe me.
I didn't believe you. I got the number of points right.
Hey, listen.
I just didn't get the Bears points right.
You're like one of the guys that gets like 16th place and get a ribbon, right?
Yeah.
Ricky Bobby said, if you're not first, you're last. So last week, you're last. I was first. Sorry.
Okay.
But I also want to thank Potawatomi Casino and Hotel for sponsoring us. Without them, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. But Tom, I will say this first. The only reason why I liked it, before you get into your questions,
Okay.
this caught a lot of people by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
But the defense is the headlines.
Yeah.
To me, that makes me think about, now don't take this out of context, okay? Because I know you guys like to run with stuff, but the free agents that that Brian Gutekunst brought in, he was sitting back somewhere after the game, of course. I don't know if he smokes, with a cigar, thinking, that's why I gave a guy $20 million, $16 million, and $11 million bonus, because I felt like they could do this to my defense.
Yeah.
He had to be. Now, I gave him a game ball because when he signed those 3 guys, Amos and the Smith brothers, a lot of people in the barbershop are like, who are these guys? I said, just because you don't know them don't mean they're not great players.
Yeah.
But it really paid off this week.
Well,
So
I'll
I
tell
was
you,
excited.
I don't ever judge anybody on one game.
I know that.
But
I
let's
know it.
let's just
I know
say
it,
that
but
let's just
fans
say
do.
that we were judging it on one game.
Yeah.
If you look at this is a one game, Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith, J.K. Scott, Darnell Savage.
Yes.
You know, Kevin King had his moments. These are all Gutekunst guys.
Yes.
You know, he built that
Yes.
defense and those players, and boy, he has to be smoking a cigar after that.
Like you were saying earlier, we was talking about J.K. Scott.
He was the MVP of that game.
No question about it. The 63-yarder to pin them
end,
back
yeah.
was amazing, something you hadn't seen. So I just wanted to just put that out there because as long as you see the defense in the headline, they're going to be winning a lot of games.
Defense and special teams, you
Yes,
know, that's how you win games, or you
Absolutely.
should. I don't know. Now, we can talk about the defense and what a great performance, or we can go to the offense on the other
Well,
side.
I know
where
y'all
they didn't.
media people love to
Well,
talk about Aaron Rodgers, so let's get to that.
We'll start with the defense.
Oh, you will? Okay, go ahead.
So, you know, I didn't think that 2 guys could have as much impact at outside linebacker as those 2 guys. I mean, you knew if there were 2 really good guys there, they could be really effective. I didn't think they would be as good as they were. They're not only explosive, but they play hard too.
Yeah, and I think that's what it was all about, this defense. That's why when Matt LaFleur came in, you know, you have to have in some kind of context to say, I'll keep Mike Pettit. I have other guys I can bring in with me, but I like his system. Keep him in place. It's almost like having another head coach. Another point to that. Mike Pettit, to me, being on the sideline, to me, is more impactful when you're talking to people who you want to make a point. I want you to go to the A gap, but I want you to do it like this. I want you to do this, that. It's different when you get on the phone. Okay, the coordinator wants to talk to you. Okay, hello. Yeah, I want you. You're about 15 feet too much to the left. You're about this. Your depth needs to be more aggressive. Okay, great. When you hang up, it's over. When you're in person, like Fritz Shermer, it's more impactful. When he came to me to do certain things, as well as my assistant coach. So I thought that was something that was notable that sometimes fans forget about, the changes that you see. So I thought that was great. To get after the quarterback, I thought they did a couple things. They confused Trubisky. They know this. They know this defense. They know what Mike Pettit likes to do, but it's different personnel. But the way they did these fronts and who's the designated guy to come around, who's the second guy, who's the first guy, the Smith brothers, it just seemed like at one point took over the game.
Yeah.
And that's what you wanted. So other guys like Blake Martinez, who got a sack, Kevin King got a sack.
Right,
People
right.
like where because he chased the quarterback out, went out of bounds. If you can get 5 to 6, and they had 44 sacks last year,
Yeah.
which I think was top 10. That's all predicated. And the last thing I want to wrap this particular point up, in Pettit's system, he wants to funnel the ball to go where he wants it to go. So in other words, he'll give you a one-on-one somewhere, you must find it.
Mm-hmm.
He'll give you like a 5-man front and show you that they're coming, but you got to find out who's the hot guy.
Yeah.
If you confuse quarterbacks like this, all you need is a few seconds for the secondary to get in position, and you build off of this. Because now after one game, you're going to have tendencies, people get a chance to chart stuff like that. But at the end of the day, nobody, I think, saw holding that offense to 10 to 3.
One thing I thought Pettine did really well was he had one inside linebacker to work with.
Right, that's true.
And so
That's
he
true.
came up with not just using Raven Green as that nickel, but he came up with a 5-man front with one inside linebacker. It was basically, a 5-1-5, which
Yes.
is kind of an unusual
It is.
look,
It
it was really successful with what he did. So he adapted to his personnel
And I
pretty
think
well. You
that's-
have to give Pettine a lot of credit for that.
Until Owen Burks comes back, you'll see a lot of that.
Yeah,
Then when
they'll
he-
have to. It's out
when
of
he
necessity.
comes back, you can do a lot of the things. A lot of teams are going to this particular system to have guys up in 2-point stands instead of 3-point stands.
Yeah.
But I think he actually gives them maybe an option if you want to be down or up. But you can see more things when you're up. You can see the screen.
Yeah.
You can see the draw. Now, what's going to happen? Teams will begin to run the football against that front.
Right.
If
you're
they
too
stop
small,
the run
Yeah.
in that, because leverage. The offensive linemen are 300 pounds. They can just come off because you're up. But if you can stop the run in that,
But
You're gonna be a very
they had
good
those jam fronts, where the guards covered, both guards
Yes.
are covered, and the nose is over the center, and it's hard to run on that. That's like a
It is.
bear defense,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Where all the reason it's hard is those guys all have one-on-one blocks,
Right.
So
Yep.
you're forcing them to block you one-on-one.
Yep.
Another thing I saw was it was a little bit odd, but in one of the fronts, Zadarius Smith was the nose tackle. I mean, he
Yeah.
was standing up, but
Yeah.
it was like a 3-4 with
Yep.
him in the middle, with
Yeah.
2 defensive ends around him. So it was really creative what
it
he
really
did.
was. And I think both safeties being synchronized, Savage being a rookie and Amos being a new guy, playing together.
Yeah.
And these are they're not the traditional safeties, 6'2", 200 pounds like the Josh Joneses of the world.
Yeah.
No, these guys are small enough and athletic enough to cover the third receiver and running backs out of the backfield. And something you didn't see that I also looked at, you didn't see a lot of missed tackles. Now here's the difference when you miss a tackle. I look at the play behind the runner. Because if you miss a tackle, did you lay down? Did you chase? You saw guys getting up chasing.
Yeah.
So if you do miss, and that's fine, the running back is not going to stand there and let you tackle him. Get up and chase. That's the reason why I think they were able to shut down the run. And of course, Nagy was not committed to the run. They let Jordan Howard go to Philadelphia. They got Montgomery, the rookie, who actually led the the NCAA and break tackles, but they weren't committed to it.
Yeah. And one thing I thought that was really noticeable was the speed in their secondary.
Yeah.
And, they rallied to the ball much faster than any defense I've seen of late. And it looked like, I don't know if they were playing zone. I haven't watched it close enough, but they seemed to always be looking, facing the quarterback. So they were cognizant of him running.
Yes.
And they were able to drop back and then rally to the ball. And,
Yes.
and boy, they are fast. You've got, King's a 4.4. Jair Alexander's a
Yes.
4.37.
Yeah.
Darnell Savage is a 4.35. Raven Green's a 4.51. You got some speed in that secondary.
They're more athletically sound than last year, and I think they're better athletes, but overall they're smarter. and they communicate. If everybody can communicate, they're going to make plays and every now and then. But you get a Tony Brown to come in.
Yeah, Tony Brown, another speed burner, 4.38 guy.
Who had a great training camp, probably deserved to start. Unselfishness. If he's your rotation guy, that makes you so deep in that secondary.
Yeah.
Again, until you can get Owen Burks back, to have the linebackers on point, the middle linebackers, people are going to start to just try to run the football. But as you pointed out, you can mess up a lot of blocking schemes when you got guys just going all over the place.
Yeah.
And that's what you saw that New England did it last night. A lot of other teams, even Chicago, do that. They try to confuse the blocking schemes. And now what teams are going to do is just slide the line and just everybody just block the area instead of a guy. That'll get a quarterback more time, but that will give somebody a true one-on-one with a back. And if it is, you just destroy him and get to the quarterback.
Yeah, one other last thing was that we saw Kevin King on the field, and they are a markedly different defense when he's on the field. I mean, you saw that Tony Brown got picked on a little bit by Allen Robinson. Then as soon as King comes in the game, you're not really seeing anything down the field. Now, he's got to stay healthy, and that's always the caveat with him. But the point being that they're a different team. When they have him and Alexander on the field at the same time, they're a different team.
I agree. And Alexander looks a lot, he's in great shape, phenomenal shape. The guy's quick as a cat, and he has the swagger that you need to play cornerback.
Yeah. He always plays the ball. He always, even after it's caught, he's going for the ball. He knocked. I think Shaheen had one on the sideline.
Yes, he did.
And he knocked it out. He did that all during training camp this year. He'd get beat deep, but in the last second, he'd knock the ball out of the guy's hands. So.
That's amazing. I like that.
Anyway, so now let's go to the flip side, which is the offense, which
the energy is going to start to come down.
Which looked pretty horrid, really. Now, I expected them to be, for two reasons. I expected them to be sluggish because, one, it's a new offense. They didn't play much together in the preseason, and then the Bears are just a great defense.
They're very
great defense.
They're very good up front.
But still, I mean, they couldn't run the ball a lick, and this was supposed to be their debut of their wide zone they've been working on all camp. What went wrong?
Well, a lot of it is Chicago. A lot of it is, not knowing each other as well, but at the same time, you got to be committed to it. Whether you make yards or not, be committed to it. Aaron Jones got 13 carries. He has to get close to 18, maybe even 19, and maybe even 20. Jamal Williams is your best running back. He's your best protector. If Aaron Rodgers is in the shotgun, the guy's amazing next to him protecting. So they'll be good there. And they'll get better at, actually running the football because this is the first time Aaron Rodgers that we've seen with the offense, what's expected of it. But one thing I will say that I've noticed, Aaron Rodgers, ball handling was some of the best I've ever seen. The idea that he can just fool defenses, they got to guess where he's play action, where his ball handling skills, I thought were very good. And you can build off of that. Case in point, play action one time, he had Trevor Davis wide open because of great ball handling. But again, we got to go back to if they're going to get blitzed, you got to go to your checkdowns. You got to, in Aaron's mind, until this offense gets fluid enough to look like Kansas City's offense, until it gets to that point, keep the chains moving. So every now and then, Devontae's not there, go to your check down, keep the chains moving. Stay tuned for accident. We're going to point that out to where it can be a possibility that if a guy isn't there, go to your secondary guy and keep that moving. And that's all stuff that, LaFleur and him and Hackett, they have to get together and say, let's just keep these chains moving. Go give our guys a chance to break a tackle. Give our guys a chance to maybe get the first down. So other than that, Devontae Adams had 4 catches. I think that should go up to 8. But, one guy that...
But you can't force it to him. I mean, if someone else is open...
Yes, I understand. But he'll get most of the targets. But I was good to see MVS going downfield. He was the guy that you didn't see him. You saw Kumaro. I didn't see a lot of MVS this whole summer. I mean, the guy has size and speed, so getting him down the field was great. They used their tight ends. You know, Jimmy Graham had a touchdown. You know, you thought that maybe they would use Tunyon a little bit. And then they came back and said, well, you know what? Let's just play all 3 tight ends. And each tight end got a catch. So I think you're going to see Mercedes Lewis, who played a lot. You're going to see these guys do a lot in this offense defensively. Because if you go back to when LaFleur was in Tennessee, Delaney Walker was the guy who had he was on my fantasy team, by the way. The guy was amazing in that offense. So I think he likes to do play action, run the ball, get the ball to the tight ends, wait for your deep shot, and take it.
Well, so the way you're talking, they had a great performance.
I think that's just a concept going in. That's what you want to do.
Okay.
But everything is going to be off sometimes when you play a top 5 defense. And if you can win a game with Aaron Rodgers throwing for 200 yards, you're going to be good. But I will say Aaron is very lucky. He could have had 2 interceptions in that game, and they either dropped him or it was broken up. So they said it themselves, they weren't very good on offense.
Yeah.
But the obvious thing is that coming into this game, people say, I got Aaron Rodgers, everything will be okay.
Yeah.
No, you got a defense. Until this offense can hit the ground running, the defense is going to keep you in or win games for you.
Okay, but now you have, coming in this week, you have a defense that's probably just as good, or close to
or
as
probably
good.
better.
Maybe.
Especially in the secondary.
And then they've got an offense. You know, they got a running back, Dalvin Cook, who's
he's amazing,
really tough.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be a big-time runner in this league.
Right.
And then they got 2 really good receivers in Thielen and Stephon Diggs, tight end.
And Kyle Rudolph, pretty good tight end. They got but they still come at the
So you got to score points this week. I mean, I don't think you're going to win 10-3.
Well, put it this way. If the game is close, the Packers, I think, will win. But at the same time, Kirk Cousins last year here put up an amazing day against the Green Bay Packers secondary.
He did.
That guy looked this week against Atlanta, he threw for 98 yards and they won.
Yeah.
He didn't look very good.
No.
That offensive line is not that great either.
No, that's where you have to make your hay.
Yes.
You have to blast that offensive line. And the Packers apparently have that ability now.
Yes.
But through hook or crook, they're going to score a touchdown or 2. So you better figure out a way to score against their defense.
I agree.
And that's not going to be easy.
And Xavier Rhodes, the top corner in the league, in my opinion, he got a little banged up, came back into the game. He'll be following around Devontae Adams. But again, I'm going to show you an excellent, what's the difference between McCarthy and what LaFleur likes to do.
Okay.
But he'll follow around everywhere Devontae goes. So the secondary receivers are going to have opportunities. They will. But Everson Griffin and these guys out front, man, they come after the quarterback. They can rush just 4. Harrison Smith, great safety. But again, they're good defense at home.
Yeah.
On the road, they don't play as good.
Right.
So you got to be able to score. The Packers must score. They got to score as much as possible. They got to be very aggressive.
Okay.
Throw it deep, get in the groove of play action and going deep to back this defense up. Otherwise, it's going to be another low-scoring game. Hopefully, you can win that.
Okay. So I think it's time for your prediction.
Yeah, I think the Packers will go 2-0 in the division, which will be tough. I mean, because if they're 2-0, 5 of the next 6 games at home, that's going to be amazing.
They need to.
And here's the thing. If you can get by this defense, these top 2 defenses, and go 2-0, I think that you're in position now to do something a lot of people don't think you can do, and that's control the North. Because Chicago and Detroit, they got to just kind of figure out what's going on at the top.
Yeah.
So I think, Bill, what was my score, 21-17 or 17-14? 17-14. So I think the Packers will win 17-14. Low scoring.
Yeah.
And if it get into the 20s or the 30s, then the Vikings have a better chance of winning.
Okay.
But as long as they keep it low, a defensive battle. If it's a defensive battle, Aaron Rodgers is the better quarterback, then the Packers will win. But Aaron Jones must get more than 13 carries.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
All right, well, thanks for joining us on X's and O's. I'm sorry, on 5 questions. I was going to tell everybody, don't forget to join us for X's and O's. We'll talk about a couple of big plays in that game against the Bears. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.